Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called The Wind That Shakes the Barley. This is a 2006 movie, came out in 2007 here in the USA. It does not come with a rating. It runs a little over 2 hours, and it stars Cillian Murphy, Padraig Delaney, Liam Cunningham. And the description: against the backdrop of the Irish War of Independence, two brothers fight a guerrilla war against British forces. This is The Wind That Shakes the Barley. How do you do, y'all? No, that's not Irish. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like any correspondence with me outside of YouTube, I do have my Facebook page. It's called Danny's Movies and Music. If you'd like to check that out, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, this stars Cillian Murphy, and I had to look up his movie roll call because this is kind of in the middle of things for him. The movie that he did that was popular before this was 28 Days Later, good zombie movie. And after this, obviously, if you don't know about him at all, he was Scarecrow in the Dark Knight movies. He was in Inception. He was in lots of big movies after this. So I think his next project is A Quiet Place 2. So he's really come a far way, but who would have known after seeing him be Scarecrow and other movies that he's Irish? He was even in a good movie I like called Red Eye. That was kind of an intriguing movie. So yeah, I obviously he wanted to do this Irish Civil War movie since he is Irish, and he comes from there. It's a good roots movie for everybody in here, and I think that it's amazing that some people did this movie in 2006, and probably a lot of people. And Cillian's probably not the only one, but a lot of people have gone on to do really great things. He's just one that's kind of become a megastar, after this movie. So, The Wind That Shakes the Barley, it's it's a war movie, yes. It's a drama movie, yes. I don't think it handles either of those two concepts very well. It's just my opinion. Everything's just my opinion, okay? I know people love movies like this. Every time we hear war movie, everybody goes flocking to see it. So if you haven't seen this, you probably should. But my opinion is that they don't handle the war stuff very well because it takes about half of the movie to set up our first real battle that I would call a battle. Everything before that is kind of like little groups being really stupid and breaking into a house and torturing people just because they feel like they have guns. And so like back in 1920, I guess that was a big thing to have guns, and maybe it made you feel invincible, especially in Ireland. But they knew of the world powers. They brought up some powerful names like all the people that would sign documents and stuff, Churchill and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe just having a gun made you really powerful back then. But that was kind of disappointing to have the real first battle halfway through. They have some other things in the second half, but nothing that screams Civil War or I don't know. It just doesn't scream it. It's really political movie. There's lots of talking. Lots of talking. And these guys that talk do some things, but mostly it's talking. So I just expected more. They do have a thing about 3/4 of the way through that says that they're going to have a truce with England, who's really who they're trying to gain freedom from, and just like America did, really. And so it's interesting. It's history. how much do the normal everyday people think about Ireland right now? I mean, I'm sure they're free now, 100 years later, but 100 years ago, people that are still alive over 100, they probably still remember stuff, that about the Civil War and stuff like that back in Ireland. So it's very relevant. And the other thing is that it it's just funny that I'm watching some movies lately that kind of are relevant to today. I just had a movie less than a week ago called The Keeper. That's kind of the same thing, but it's just so relevant to today that this movie, The Wind That Shakes the Barley, Irish looking for independence, people being split over whether they should have a truce or not with England so that they can try and either have better lives or don't have a treaty, try and fight for real independence. You know, um, at the end of this movie, people are killing each other and arguing with each other over one simple idea, whether to have a treaty or a truce or not. And it just reminds me while I was watching this thing last night that that's what we're going through today. This is 100 years later in a totally different country. We're arguing about masks. We're arguing about all kinds of political things. Things like this don't end. And I'm just wondering, are 10 years later down the line, are we gonna have a movie about people and what they're doing to each other, and stores closing and blocking people from coming in for business because they're not wearing a mask? I mean, that's what this movie is. Somebody made a movie about people within a country arguing about things about how to improve their country and their lifestyles. Right now, America is arguing with each other about how to make our lives better. Do we want to wear a mask? Do we not? Do we want to go to sports or not? I mean, there's all these arguments going on. I'm just thinking we're going to have a movie about us here in about 10 years or less. So, um, boy, I tell you, this movie is just one of those movies that makes you think. It's very relevant nowadays. Lots of people like to watch these things. I think there's too much talking. I think there's not enough action. I like Cillian Murphy no matter if it was 14 years ago or if he's coming out with a new movie tomorrow. I like other people that are acting in this movie. I don't exactly like everything that was done in this movie. Um, I don't like the hoodlum style of fighting and them selling the movie as war. Um, I don't like the fact that it's kind of boring and it tries to throw in some things like a romance here and a friendship there, and then people will kill each other over the smallest thing, and maybe it was a little bit more of a culture thing back then, 100 years ago, in their country, in their time of desperation, that, it was your duty to kill somebody for being a traitor and stuff like that. But I just thought it was a little weak, and the way that things were handled. So I'm going to take the easy way out here, and I'm not going to call it a terrible movie, but I am going to give it a pretty low grade of a C minus. Can't suggest it. Don't want to watch it again. I will continue to probably watch other Cillian Murphy movies because he's a great guy. He's a great actor. I think he's one of the kind of guys that I can sit back and enjoy, whether he's in a main role or a supporting role. And I know people will watch this movie. A lot of people have, and just like to know opinions about things. But mine is that it was a little on the lesser side of enjoyable. So I'm going to have to give The Wind That Shakes the Barley a C minus. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Enjoy your movies. Thanks.